Nestled in Louisiana's bayou, the Myrtles Plantation serves as a haunting reminder of the South's dark history. Spirits are said to roam the halls, their sorrowful wails echoing through the night. Exploring the Myrtles Plantation, we step into a realm where the past and present collide, revealing tragic tales and the lingering echoes of a haunted legacy. This is You Should Be Scared, and I'm your host Robbie. Now let's deep dive into the Myrtles' haunted history. When people envision the American South, the image of a grand plantation house often springs to mind. However, what many may overlook or prefer not to acknowledge is that the foundation of these plantations was built on the suffering of enslaved individuals. These men and women labored relentlessly under the harsh rule of white plantation owners. Tragically, some were worked to the point of death, only to be replaced as if they were mere tools when new captives arrived by ship. So, while these plantations may have appeared as opulent estates to some, they were in reality sites of anguish and despair for many. It's no wonder that numerous plantation homes still standing in the South are said to be haunted. One such house is the elegant Myrtles Plantation, situated just a few miles from St. Francisville, Louisiana. Yet, beneath this stunning facade lay a dark and troubling history, often traced back to two enslaved women named Chloe and Cleo, who lived at Myrtles Plantation during that era. At the time of Chloe, the plantation was under the ownership of Judge Clark Woodruff and his wife, Sarah Matilda. They were raising two young daughters, with a third child on the way. The judge was a figure of respect in the community, known for his integrity and commitment to the law. However, he harbored a dark secret. He was a notorious womanizer and took advantage of the power he had over the enslaved people on his plantation. Whenever the opportunity arose, the judge would basically force enslaved women into illicit affairs. Chloe, a mixed-race slave who acted as the governess for the Woodruff children, soon found herself the object of his unwanted attention. Although repulsed by the idea of submitting to the judge's demands, Chloe understood that refusing him could lead to a return to the grueling labor of the fields alongside the other slaves. For Chloe, working in the big house represented the closest semblance of freedom she could hope for, so she felt compelled to comply. Over time, Chloe started to feel that the judge was losing interest in her and might soon seek a new companion. The thought of being sent back to the fields filled her with dread, prompting her to secretly listen in on the family's discussions to confirm her suspicions. One fateful day, the judge discovered her eavesdropping and, in a fit of rage, seized her and cut off one of her ears. From that moment on, Chloe wore a green turban to conceal her painful scar. With the judge's wrath directed at her, Chloe realized she needed to act quickly to demonstrate her value to the family. Her chance finally arrived when she was asked to assist in organizing a birthday celebration for the eldest Woodruff daughter. The judge was away and his wife and daughters were preparing to enjoy cake in the dining room. Chloe devised a cunning plan. She stealthily ventured outside and harvested some leaves from the oleander plants that grew near the house. Knowing the leaves contained a trace of poison, she discreetly mixed it into the birthday cake. Her intention was to make the family ill just enough so that she could care for them and prove her worth. As the family indulged in the contaminated birthday cake, Chloe quickly realized the grave error she had made. One by one they dropped their forks and began to writhe in pain, moaning in distress. Chloe rushed to their aid, helping them to their beds in a frantic attempt to save them, but it was already too late. Tragically, the young girls, their mother, and her unborn child succumbed to the poison. News of the incident spread like wildfire through Myrtles Plantation, instilling fear among the other slaves who worried that the judge would unleash his fury on them for Chloe's actions. To protect themselves, they felt compelled to demonstrate their loyalty to their master. One fateful night, a lynch mob seized Chloe from her slumber and hanged her from a sturdy oak tree. After her life was extinguished, they cut her down, weighed her body with stones, and cast her into the depths of the Mississippi River. The judge sealed off the dining room, never to use it again. In the years that followed, The plantation house was transformed into a charming bed and breakfast, drawing visitors with its picturesque beauty. However, both guests and future proprietors would soon realize they were not alone within its walls. One day, a new owner took a photograph of the house's exterior. Upon developing the image, on the screen now, he was startled to see a shadowy figure near the veranda, its head wrapped in what looked like a turban. At night, some guests reported hearing restless footsteps echoing through the hallways, while others claimed to have been awakened by a black woman in a green turban who lifted the mosquito netting around their beds as if searching for someone. Chloe's spirit refuses to rest, her ghostly presence marked by a series of eerie occurrences and unexplained events. Visitors have reported seeing her apparition in the mirrors, hearing her whispers in the hallways and feeling her icy breath. Some have even claimed to have seen her standing in the doorway of the plantation's grand ballroom, her eyes fixed on some unknown point in the distance, her presence as cold as the grave. One of the most chilling accounts of Chloe's ghostly presence comes from a former caretaker who lived on the plantation in the 1970s. According to his story, he was awoken one night by the sound of whispering in his ear, and when he turned to see who it was, he was face to face with Chloe's ghostly apparition. The caretaker claimed that Chloe's eyes were black as coal, her skin deathly pale, and her presence was as cold as the grave. Some visitors also report glimpsing the reflections of small children, perhaps the Woodruff children, in the mirrors lining the hallways. Additionally, some guests caught sight of the two spirited little girls in white dresses, frolicking in the corridors, peeking through the windows, bouncing on the beds, and even swinging from the chandeliers. Despite the terror that Chloe's presence inspires, many believe that she's not a malevolent spirit. Instead, they see her as a lost soul, trapped between the world of the living and the world of the dead, seeking closure and redemption for her past mistakes. As the legend of Chloe continues to captivate and unsettle visitors to Myrtles Plantation, one thing is certain: her story will continue to haunt us. But Chloe isn't the only spirit said to haunt Myrtles Plantation. Another figure, often overshadowed by Chloe's tragic tale, is Cleo. Unlike Chloe, Cleo's story is less well known but equally intriguing. Cleo was an enslaved woman who worked at Myrtles Plantation during the mid-1800s, a time when the South was deeply entrenched in the brutal institution of slavery. Historical records of Cleo are scarce, but oral traditions and folklore fill in some of the gaps. Cleo was known for her healing abilities and was often called upon to care for the sick and injured on the plantation. Her knowledge of herbal remedies and traditional medicine made her both respected and feared. Despite the harsh conditions she faced, Cleo's compassion and skill earned her a revered place among the enslaved community. One notable anecdote involves Cleo trying to save the life of a young girl at the plantation who had fallen seriously ill with yellow fever. Unfortunately, despite her best efforts, she couldn't save the girl. Cleo's story takes a dark turn when she was accused of practicing voodoo, a charge that was often levied against enslaved individuals who possessed knowledge that was not understood by their oppressors. The accusations led to Cleo being punished by the parents of the girl who died and perhaps hanged at the plantation, and some say that her spirit now roams the building seeking justice for the wrongs committed against her. Visitors have reported seeing a shadowy figure near the old slave quarters, and some claim to hear whispers in the night, believed to be Cleo's voice. Cleo's connection to Myrtles Plantation serves as a poignant reminder of the countless untold stories of those who lived and suffered there. Her tale adds another layer of depth to the plantation's haunted history, making it a place where the past is never truly forgotten. Well, there we are. So, I'd love to know what you think. Do you believe the stories of Chloe and Cleo? And have you ever visited a haunted location that left you shaken? So, if you're feeling brave, I'd love for you to come back next time when I'll be looking at another topic that will leave you sleeping with the lights on. Don't forget to follow the channel, and why not enjoy another episode by clicking on the links on the screen now? Stay curious, stay cautious, and stay tuned for more tales of the unexplained. And remember, you should be scared,